So let's talk a little Outlander. Since we last spoke, you did shoot season 6.
We did.
And I remember, again, you were wondering what it would feel like. Like, I mean, because so much of that set is a social environment. That's half the fun, maybe, of working there. Were you able to enjoy in the same way you were able to enjoy the previous seasons, or was it a much different kind of environment?
It was very different this season. You know, I'll still say we enjoyed it, but you know, the difference is when we were shooting Belfast, it was the height of summer. We were outside for 90% of the time, I would say. So the wearing of masks and the socially distancing in the kind of halcyon days of summer are very different than in the depths of winter.
Yeah.
And being in the studio a lot. Also, I was pregnant, which was a whole other new level to the discomfort or the just kind of weirdness of shooting again. You know, our writers didn't want to shoot or didn't see how to shoot a season of Outlander, making it COVID friendly. So we sort of went ahead and shot it as we would another season, except with a lot of COVID protocols sort of around our you know, set and story. So we had to be really, really strict because we weren't, you know, I know some shows were sort of reducing the amount of people, and we did a little bit of that where we could, but you know, you can't really shoot Outlander without sort of having a bit of the scope of community and all of those things. So, you know, it was strange. It was like, you know, you're driving and you're like, normally, you know, when you're moving from set to set or you're going from your base camp to set, you'd have a car full of like your costumer, your makeup artist, your driver, you know, yourself. And there's always chat. There's always, you know, like life and vibrancy and all of those things. And as a cast, we would always hang out in big groups and, you know, that all kind of it was weird, you know, having separate tents next to each other, and you're supposed to just sit in your tent by yourself, and you're just like, oh, this feels super weird.
Texting Sam, what's going on in your tent? Yeah. How are you?
Like, what food do you have? This is weird. But you know, that's kind of how it felt in the beginning. But you get used to these things. You know, we all adapt, and it was important. It was important that we got everybody back to work, and we did, and we managed to get through the entire season without having any COVID in our shooting on our set. I mean, in the periphery, there was some, you know, in sort of like the props and the builders and that kind of stuff. But like actually on set, we managed to make it through.
In terms of, obviously, the end of season 5 left Claire in a very emotional, I mean, it can't get more intense than the way that season ended. Is there some relief, hopefully, in some way for Claire this season? I mean, on the emotional turmoil scale of 1 to 10, how's Claire doing in season 6?
I mean, it's not a quick fix, which is what I really, you know, what I wanted. I mean, I think we've always seen Claire sort of rebound very quickly. And one of the things that, you know, as the writers we talked about, and you know, Diana has sort of laid this foundation for us, was that it takes time to get over an incident like that. And it has destabilized Claire in a way that she's never been before, because her coping mechanism is no longer serving her. You know, I think she's always been able to compartmentalize things, put it in a box and shelve it. And, you know, this is too big of a tragic event to be able to do that. So she has to, in a way, learn a new way of healing. And, you know, I appreciated the way that it's been dealt with, and I appreciate the journey I've been able to take her on this season. You know, obviously there's new people who come to the Ridge and they have an influence on that as well. But I think, you know, even though it's a truncated show this season, it's only 8 episodes, I think it's really strong. And we've continued as well to sort of play around with how we deal with things stylistically, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it to come out. I'm excited to see it. I've seen 1 episode so far. They very kindly sent me 3 and gave me 24 hours to watch it. And I was like, I've got a 1-month-old. What's wrong with you people?
There's a lot going on.
That's not going to happen. So I've only seen the first episode, which is great. But yeah, I'm excited to see the rest of it.
And the last thing on the Outlander front is, obviously you mentioned 8 episodes for the season 6. Next season is not going to be so small. It's going to be the biggest, I think, since season 1, right?
Yeah.
And you've obviously got a lot going on in your life now. How are you? I mean, are you starting to see scripts? Are you looking forward to getting back to work, or are you? I mean, you're at a different place, and this is a lot. It's a big workload.
Yeah.
It's always a big workload. It's going to be bigger than ever.
Well, at 3:30 this morning, when I was feeding my son, I got an email with the first 2 scripts. And I started, I mean, you have to look at your phone to keep yourself awake. So I started reading the first episode, and then, you know, my eyes were getting crossed, but I'll have to look at that at another time. But yeah, so that's the first 2 eps they're in my inbox.
Okay.
So it's exciting. Yeah. I mean, we're gearing up to get back at it. So, we'll see. It's definitely going to be a tough one. I mean, yeah, we'll be shooting for an entire year. So, wow. You know, I think we're all, in the words of Dougal Mackenzie, we're going to gird our loins and get ready, because, you know, we'll have to dig deep, I think, for sure.
Yeah. By the like 8th hour of Sam just talking about episode 9 of Men in Kilts and what a great time he was having. Yeah. Just tell him to shut up. Just tell him to text Josh and shut up.
He'll probably be on his 7th almanac at that point. You know, he's written 7 books while he's waiting between takes.
He's like Oprah. He's got a publishing empire.
He's an energizer bunny. You know, those little things that just never stop beating the drum. I'm like, where do you get your energy from? And please send some this way, please.
Right. Well, you were kind enough to do a little cameo, and I'm not sure when this is airing, but maybe folks can see your little cameo in a Sam sketch very soon. Thank you for that.
Yes,
by the way.
that was we spent a lot of time on that. I hope it supplies this.
A+. It's perfect. It's perfect.